Is Canadian Club as good as it was in 1971? We're doing a side-by-side with an older bottling of Canadian Club, 1971, and a 2023 bottling. I'm here with John, the whiskey neighbor. How you doing, John?
Pretty good, James. Thanks for bringing me here. I'm loving these side-by-sides to see whether 50 years difference makes a taste difference and how it comes out.
I can't wait. Let's crack them open and see what they're like.
Awesome.
All right, here we are with a side-by-side of 1971 Canadian Club and 2023 bottling of Canadian Club. I'm excited to try these. The 1971, as we found out, is 6 years old and bottled at 43.4% alcohol, whereas the more recent bottling is just 40%.
Well, and I want to, another thing that we noticed on this bottle, anyone out there that's got some pretty cool research, drop it in the comments. Like, it says bottle and bond in Canada, which it's new to me that Canada had a bottle and bond act. I've heard that's true, but at 43.4, it's not meeting, the 100 proof and whatnot. So I have no idea, but I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's give it a sniff.
Absolutely.
Wild.
I definitely want to hear what wild is as you unpack that.
All right, John, you smell it and I'll say it.
Okay. Okay.
Pencil shavings. It smells like putting an HB number 2 into one of those, like, the tiny pencil shavers where, like, it comes out the side.
A
little bit of wood, a little bit of, like,
with that. You bet.
Graphite in there.
Yeah, a little graphite, yeah.
There's a bitter note that I would say, like, is somewhat mineral.
Yeah, if I'm going mineral, it's almost a little bit of a mineral oil, mineral fuel. I don't want to go too far down that path. Fuel notes can be pretty negative. I'm not quite there, but there's something like that. It's the third it's kind of dusty side-by-side we've done, and this one is a little more tight for me. Now that you've said pencil shavings, I can totally get that type of wood.
Yeah.
But aside from some sweet sugars, but mineral, a little bit of fuel oil notes in there, I'm not getting much else.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I would say it's interesting. It's got a lot more going on the nose than maybe some of the other ones we tried.
Okay, right on.
All right.
Let's go over to the new one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Some typical high vanillas in there. Not as floral as that, though. I'm not getting as many pencil shavings.
No, in fact, no pencil shavings.
Okay, but I would say there's a sourness in here. Yeah.
I can see that. A little bit of acidity.
Yeah. No, here I'm not going to get a distinct fruit either. I can get a little sweetness, like a fruit cup. Like, when you just get that bit of fruit syrup sweetness. But it's still soured. I don't know what that is. For me, there's a souring note, that acidity is coming up. I think we need to try them. Which one are we sipping first?
Let's start with the older one.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
I don't know. For me, this very typical Canadian whiskey. You got a little bit of caramels in there. Maybe some artificial cola. Not a lot of depth for me. Maybe that ABV is giving it a bit of a bump on that early finish, but it's not grabbing me.
I'm getting a little more wood than I would typically pull off a Canadian whiskey.
Fair. Yeah, okay.
Lends to that pencil shavings we talked about earlier.
I don't know. Yeah, and it's slightly drying. Actually, I'll give it a bit of credit on that.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. With that extra wood, a little bit of drying right at the end.
I wonder if that's the difference right in there of 43.4% ABV. Tastes like corn distillate. A little bit, it's sweeter, but it's balanced okay with the higher ABV.
Okay, I can play into that corn note with the pencil shavings. A little bit of, I've shucked corn, been on the farm, and some of that cob, like where you get like that woodiness of a cob in with the corn.
Oh yeah,
I could get that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, like dried corn, like
right. Yeah.
Interesting. I wouldn't say popcorn, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Right, let's try today's release of Canadian Club. Oh, right up front for me, that is sweeter though. There is some other fruits in there. I don't even know all of the different casks they run this through, but I am getting a little more pear. Similar to what I said, the nose is that fruit cup, that indistinct, not really high class fruit, but but I would say I've got a little bit of those notes, like peeled grapes and cut pears and that kind of sweet fruit note. Yeah.
Oh, like almost like in the fruit cup, the syrup that's left at the bottom.
Exactly.
You know, like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know, I'm getting something along the lines of cola. You'd mentioned it in the other one. I don't know if it's exactly cola. Maybe even like a little bit of like a ginger finish, but not necessarily like the sweet ginger. It might be more like if you have the ginger root in your hand with the skin on it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get a little bit more credit because I was pretty hard on it with the nose. The palate of this is slightly better for me than the nose was. A little more expressive than I was going the nose, but it's tough for me to pick a winner here. They actually stand out as, like, yeah, there's a bit of CC characteristic in it, but the difference in the oaking really shifts the palate for me.
I think because of that, I tend to think that the newer bottling might also be a little bit sweeter than the older bottling.
Yep.
I'd say my favorite is the older one.
Okay.
Not by miles, but it's my choice.
Well, certainly if you've got fond memories of a pencil sharpener where you're grinding away, absolutely. This nose would fill the room and you'd feel right at home.
Takes you back to elementary school.
Yeah, except there wasn't any whiskey involved in elementary school. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate being here and being able to taste some of these Dussies and run it change. Some of them kind of similar. This one, I really feel a difference.
Yeah. Would you say, tasting them blind, would you think it's the same distillery?
I don't know. We'll have to try that.
Maybe for another video.
Sounds good.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.